Have you ever wondered, what would the world be like if there were actual dragons in our world? Well, sadly we'll never know. But we came this close to finding out 160 million years ago, when dinosaur flight hadn't chosen yet between the way of the birds or another way. This latter way is the one we're gonna explore today with Yi Chi. Hey pals, how are you doing? Do you like dinosaurs? I like dinosaurs, so let's talk about dinosaurs, because what else would we talk about? I'm Pal, and today let me introduce you to Yi. This dinosaur is known from a single, but very well preserved specimen, almost complete, discovered in the Hebei province in China. Yi's story starts when a local farmer found him in 2005 and sold it 2 years later, yeah, you guessed it right, in 2007, I see you're something of a scientist yourself, to the Shandong Tianyu Museum of Nature, and was finally published in 2015. Since its name is so short, I guess we can get it out of the way now. Yi Chi means strange wing, and bears the shortest name that has been attributed to dinosaurs so far.
Ooh, that's kind of small. Yikes.
It would be harder to make it shorter anyway, and even not harder, but impossible, as it's actually the shortest it can be, as stated in the International Code of Zoological Nomenclature, stipulating that binomial names cannot be shorter than 2 letters for each the name of the species and the genus. The only other animal Yi shares its record with is with the great evening bat Yayo. Wait, you said Yiki? No, Yayo. Oh, so it's not Yiki? No, and it's Yi Chi. Yi what? Yi Chi. So not Yiki? No, Yi Chi. Yi who? Yi Chi. Avicii? OMG. Oh, I see. Yi Chi. Ah, finally. Okay, anyway. This dino was found in northeastern China in the Chaojishan Formation, close to the middle to late Jurassic boundary, around 160 million years ago. At the time, this area was subtropical to temperate, dominated by forests of ginkgos, conifers and ferns, with lakes around and an active volcano zone nearby. Is it just me, or has it been already a couple of times I talk about formations combined with local volcanism? Well, that's not that much surprising, since ash layers can help with taphonomic preservation and thus helping in keeping fossils in a good shape. The fauna of the Chaojishan Formation consisted of our hero of the day, Yi, as well as other dinosaurs and basal birds. There were also so many pterosaurs. If you've seen the first Harry Potter movie, imagine the room with the flying keys, replace them by pterosaurs, and you got the Chaojishan Formation. There's also a lot of salamanders and early mammals. Yi was a small pigeon-sized dino which weighed a little less than 400 grams, which is still heavier than an average pigeon. That's one of the things I love with paleontology, it makes you look up some weird and random stuff very often. And was coated by a feather coverage from head to toes. Thanks to these beautifully preserved feathers, Yi is placed within Penaroptera, but his feathers were still basic, still stiff, paintbrush-like filaments. The family of Yi, the Scansoriopterigids, are considered as the sister group of the Avialae, all other dinosaurs considered closer to modern birds. Scansoriopterigids are relatively mysterious dinosaurs, since they've begun to be extensively described since less than 10 years, and have an anatomy that widely differed from previously known dinosaurs, which makes them hard to interpret. Besides Yi, there is also Ambopteryx, Epidexipteryx, not him, Epidendrosaurus, Scansoriopteryx, and that's it, only 5 genera so far. His large orbits suggest that Yi had big eyes providing stereoscopic vision, better to judge distances and to spot its insect prey in the dark, leafy canopy. Indeed, their jaws suggest an insectivorous diet with short, forward-inclined teeth and downturned mandibles. It also had recurved claws, indicating an arboreal lifestyle, even more than his cousin Epidexipteryx. But feathers aren't even the craziest part of Yi. Patches of membrane were found, indicating our little Yi actually had wings. Not wings consisting of feathers like birds, but ones more similar to bats. Yi's wing anatomy is weird. It's not like birds and it's not like pterosaurs either. It's a little closer to bats, but still not that exactly. The wings were supported by elongated digits. So far so good, but that alone wouldn't qualify as the proof for a wing in his case. The twist is that it also had an elongated wrist bone, or at least hardened cartilage. That sort of acted as an additional finger, a unique structure in dinosaur that has only been found in Yi so far. At least that's what we thought, until 2019, when Ambopteryx, another winged Scansoriopterygiid, very similar to Yi, was found and shares these same characteristics. This styliform bone is, however, present in some flying squirrels that support membrane, like with the Japanese flying squirrel or the greater glider, a marsupial from eastern Australia.
That's the cutest thing I've ever seen in my entire life.
A few extinct species also had that feature, such as Eomys, who was a gliding rodent, and some species present in Tiaojishan Formation that I showed earlier. Similar structures are found in pterosaurs on their wrists and in bats on their ankles. However, in the case of Yi, there doesn't seem to be hind limb attachments, so the presence of the membrane, also called patagium, this far back is unlikely. This full patagium model has been considered, but was later disproved for reasons I'm gonna jump into. Several methods of patagium extent have been considered. A bat model, where the styliform bone is angled towards the back of Yi and the membrane extends towards the body. A frog model, same thing but with no membrane after the styliform bone. A Maniraptoran model, with the styliform angled closer to the forearms. And a pterosaur model, with the styliform extending in the same direction as the other fingers. Just in case you're confused by the presence of a frog model, some unexpected animals you might not be aware of can also glide, like some species of frogs, snakes, lizards, and geckos. After some biomechanical analysis, it seems like the Maniraptoran model is a better fit for Yi, considering its phylogeny, its skeletal structure, and lack of attachment points on the hind limbs for the patagium. It's widely accepted that Yi could not perform active flight, since no sign of powerful pectoral muscle insertions to allow a powered flight were found. The styliform bone would also not allow flapping, because it would make the wing too stiff. Long-distance gliding is out of the picture as well, as Yi's center of gravity is located too far back to allow for an efficient long glide. In order for Yi to take to the air, he probably climbed high up in the trees first, thanks to his big curved claws, then jumped from there and glided down rapidly for short distances, perhaps as an attempt to being less vulnerable to predation in the air, since they couldn't control that much their flight. Just put yourself at the place of Epidixipteryx for a moment. You see Yi, and you're like, wow, need wings bro, how do you fly? Well, actually...
How? I don't know!
Also, the feathers still not had the primary function of flight or gliding, unlike more derived avialae, but probably were here for thermal regulation or tactile sensing on its body, as well as display, especially with the 4 long, ribbon-like feathers Yi had on its tail. Many Penaraptora had a wide variety of tail feathers, which probably were a nice spectacle to see during mating season. Another plausible reason for the presence of feathers would be to increase the aerodynamics and efficiency of Yi's body, as a similar principle has recently been shown with the presence of early feathers in aneurognathid pterosaurs. Yi and the Scansoriopterygiid family was present for a very short amount of time. We don't see them anymore after the very few contemporaneous species that we know. This could mean that their flight and gliding capabilities were not efficient enough to compete with the more established pterosaur flight or the now common avian flight of Archaeopteryx or Microraptor. So evolution was like, yeah, sure, go ahead, have fun, what could go wrong? Get yourself in the air, Yi. And then be like, I shall reveal my trap card, and boop, bibbidi bobbidi boo, you're now extinct too. And that's something important paleontology keeps reminding us, like with Yi here. Evolution is not a straight predetermined path to success. It's a process that tiptoes on random novelties through mutations and millions of years before something punctually useful for a group in a certain location at a certain time begins to evolve further. They say history is written by the winners. Well, we could say that's the same thing in paleo. Every species we see right now is the result of a successful adaptation to nature over time thanks to random adaptations and being in the right place at the right time. But the winners of today might not be the winners of tomorrow. Think about all those lineages that went extinct because they weren't adapted enough at the time or simply because of unfortunate events like with dinosaurs. We wouldn't know them today without paleontology, and I think that's beautiful. Yi is a beautifully strange creature that is what could have led to the dragons in Game of Thrones, but is too strange for a general audience to be popular. However, it was still depicted in Dinosaur Train, so props to them for having included it in their roster. Last video I discovered they also featured Cryo, and also Yi, as well as plenty more amazing dinos I'm sure. I'm not familiar with this show, but just for that, they have my respect. So, at the end of the day, what can we say about Yi Chi? Well, he's an associate professor of spatial sciences affiliated with the Spatial Sciences Institute of the University of Southern California, and I think I'm talking about the wrong Yi. On a more serious note, this dino shed light on an unknown way of flying in dinosaurs, and made us rethink the path animals took to arrive at powered flight as we know it today. Evolution is never as simple as we think, and that's what's great about it. New findings like this can happen anytime in any group and make us reshape our view of some process of evolution. Who knew wyverns were real? Yi was a great discovery. I'm sure we'll keep hearing about him and proving me wrong on some stuff I've said today. I sure hope so anyway. And with these thoughts, I'll leave you be. If you enjoyed this video, please consider to share, leave a like and subscribe. There's some more cool dinos I've covered that you can check out on my channel, and so many more I want to cover in the future. Thank you very much for watching, and keep pity into laughing. I'll see you around. See you, pal.